You know the name. You can feel it. It's right there, and then it's gone. Not forgotten, locked, like your brain closed a door in your face. And here's the strange part. This is a real retrieval lock, and the harder you pull, the tighter it gets. You smile, you stall, you pretend you're thinking about something else, and inside, you're panicking. Because the worst part isn't the blank, it's that you know it. If you've ever thought, why does this always happen at the worst time? Yes, that timing is real. And it's not because your memory is weak. It's because names are stored in a way that's easy to block and hard to force. Mini scene. You're walking towards someone you've met before. Friendly face. They light up. They say your name. And your brain does the cruelest thing. It shows you everything except the name, where you met, what they do, the sound of their voice, even the first letter, maybe, but not the word you need. You hesitate. You do the classic moves. Hey, you, how have you been? And you can feel your mind searching, harder, faster, more desperate. Here's the first twist. Searching harder often makes it worse, because name recall isn't like opening a file. It's more like unlocking a door. And panic is the wrong key. Your brain retrieves a name through a network of associations. Face, context, emotion, voice, a cluster of cues, and then the label. The label is the last piece, the smallest piece, but it's the one you need. And that label can be blocked by noise. Not noise in the room, noise inside your system. Stress, pressure, self-awareness, that feeling of being watched. Because the moment you think, I can't mess this up, your body goes into mild threat mode, heart rate up, muscles slightly tighter, breathing a little shallower, and your attention narrows. That's great for danger, terrible for delicate retrieval. This is why it hits you in social moments. Your brain is doing two jobs at once. 1. Be normal. Be polite. Maintain eye contact. Smile. Respond. 2. Search memory. Quietly. Fast. Without showing it. And those two jobs compete. Because memory retrieval needs space. It needs a calm workspace. It needs time. But social performance takes the workspace over, and the name gets pushed behind a locked door. Now here's the second twist. When a name is blocked, your brain doesn't give you nothing. It gives you near misses. Wrong names. Similar sounds. Same first letter. Same rhythm. The name of someone else from the same category. It's like your brain is circling the right shelf, but grabbing the wrong book. That's why you get that maddening feeling. It's on the tip of my tongue. Because it is. The network is active. The region is hot. The label is just not clicking into place. And here's a detail most people don't know. Forcing it can train the block. The more you repeat, come on, come on, come on, the more your brain associates the name with pressure. So next time, the block arrives faster. Not because your memory got worse, because the door learned what panic feels like. Now let's do a tiny test. Not a diagnosis, just a demonstration. Because once you feel the mechanics, you stop blaming yourself. Think of someone you haven't seen in a while. Someone whose name you know. Now imagine you're about to introduce them. Your mind reaches for the name, and it stalls. You feel the blank. Now notice what comes next. Your brain offers you almost names, similar names, wrong names. That's the search system working, without the final lock clicking. Now, why are names so easy to block? This is the part that makes it make sense. Names are arbitrary labels. They don't describe. They don't contain meaning. Most of the time, they don't help your brain predict anything. A face tells you a lot. A name tells you almost nothing. So the brain stores names differently than facts. The fact she is your neighbor is meaningful. The name is just a tag, a tiny tag attached to a huge web. And tags are easy to slip. Let me show you why names are so uniquely fragile, with a famous experiment called the Baker-Baker paradox. Imagine two people. You show them both the same photo of a man. To the first person you say, his last name is Baker. To the second person you say, he is a professional baker. A week later, you ask them both to recall the word. The first person often blanks. The second person remembers it instantly. Why? Because a name is an island. It has no shape, no smell, no history. It's just a flat label. B-A-K-E-R. If that one thin connection breaks, the island is lost. But a baker, that word is connected to a whole world inside your head. The smell of fresh bread, white flour on hands, warm ovens, early mornings. Your brain doesn't just store the word baker, it stores the whole network. So even if one link fails, the others carry you back to the meaning. Names are hard to remember because they're often meaningless. They have fewer roots, fewer backup roots. Now here's a small detail that makes this feel personal. It's not just that names are meaningless, it's also that names have fewer reconstruction paths. If you forget someone's job, your brain can rebuild it from clues. Where you saw them, what they were wearing, the place, the conversation. But a name doesn't rebuild itself. It's a single label. And if that label isn't strongly attached, there's nothing to reconstruct. Mini-scene. You're trying to remember a name and your brain offers their city, their laugh, their jacket, that story about the airport. Everything except the label. That's your brain showing you the network is alive, but the tag is missing. And here's a surprisingly common reason the tag is weak. A lot of us meet people while our attention is split. You're holding a phone. You're thinking about the next thing. You're scanning the room. You're trying to be polite. So the brain stores the person, but doesn't stamp the label deeply. Not because you don't care, because you didn't have enough attention at the moment the tag was assigned. That's why repeating the name once matters. Not 10 times, once. Because one repetition creates a second route, a second hook, a second chance for access later. So when your attention is strained, your brain can retrieve the web, but drop the tag. You get the person, without the label. Mini-scene. You're at a party. You see them. You know them. You can even remember a story they told you. But the name is locked, and you feel a strange fear. If I can't say their name, I'll look cold, or rude, or fake. So the pressure rises, and the lock tightens. Now, let's talk about the moment the name suddenly returns, because this is the third twist. It often returns when you stop trying. In the shower, in the car, while brushing your teeth. 10 minutes later, out of nowhere. And you blurt it out like a victory. That's not random. That's your brain solving it in the background. When pressure drops, your brain can wander through the network, quietly, without performance. And the label clicks. The door opens. Now let's talk about the worst version of this. When you can feel the name, and you can even feel the first letter, but the rest won't open. That's not your imagination. That's your brain giving you partial access, like a door opening 1 inch. Mini-scene. You're about to introduce them. Your mind says, it starts with M. You feel relief, then panic, because now you're stuck between knowing and not knowing, and the pressure doubles. Here's what's happening. Under pressure, your brain tends to grab the loudest cue, the first letter, the rhythm, a similar sounding name. Those are easy handles. But the full label needs a calmer search, a wider search. And wide searches don't happen well in threat mode. So here's a micro tool you can use in the moment. not to force the name, to widen the search gently. Ask yourself, what is the name not? Not as punishment, as guidance. If your brain offers Michael and it feels wrong, say quietly, not Michael. If it offers Maya and it's not it, not Maya. This reduces noise. It stops your brain from looping the same wrong shelf. It can open a new path. Mini-scene. You eliminate 2 wrong names, and suddenly the right one appears. Not because you got smarter, because you reduced interference. You cleared space for the tag to click. So how do you open it on purpose? 3 calm techniques, designed for real life, in real time, in front of people. Technique 1. Stop pulling directly. Pull sideways. If you pull the label, it resists. So pull a cue. Ask yourself one question. Where did I meet them? Not their name. Where? First location. First scene. A room. A street. A job. A mutual friend. This shifts your brain back into context retrieval, and context often brings the tag with it. Not always, but often. Technique 2. Use sound, not meaning. Names live in sound, so search by sound. How many syllables? Does it start with a hard sound? A soft one? Does it rhyme with anything? Even if you're not sure, you're guiding the search engine without triggering panic. You're giving it a map. Technique 3. The 5-second release. You don't need anything dramatic. You just exhale longer than you inhale. Slowly. 5 seconds out. Then 1 normal breath. A long exhale downshifts your threat system. And when threat mode drops, the lock loosens. The workspace opens, and the name has a better chance to appear. Now, if you're in the moment and you still can't get it, here's the graceful escape that also protects your brain. Don't apologize 10 times. Don't spiral. Don't say, I'm so bad with names, like a confession. That teaches your brain a story of failure, and stories become habits. Instead, use a clean bridge. Remind me of your name. Simple, warm, normal. Because it is normal. And the moment you treat it as normal, your brain stops treating it like danger. Now let's add one more layer. Why does it feel worse lately? Why does it feel like it happens more as you get busier? Because attention is fragmented. You meet people while multitasking. You store the person, but you don't store the tag strongly. So later, the tag is weak. And under stress, weak tags disappear first. So the fix isn't just try harder. The fix is to plant the tag when you first hear it. One small habit. Repeat it once. Not like a robot, like a human. Nice to meet you, Maya. That's it. A single repetition attaches the tag more firmly. It gives the brain another cue, another route back. And here's the comforting ending. Tip of the tongue moments are not proof your memory is failing. They're proof your memory is organized. They show you the network is there. The person is there. The context is there. The label is just temporarily locked. So next time it happens, don't panic. Don't pull harder, pull sideways. Find the scene, search the sound, and release the pressure for 5 seconds. Because memory retrieval isn't strength, it's access. And access improves when the system feels safe. In the next episode, we'll talk about another kind of lock. Not a name, a feeling. When your own hand can briefly feel, not yours. Body ownership glitches, and what your brain's body map is doing in the background.